Well, Tony Stewart actually got his guy. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. We've been tracking the Cole Custer versus Ryan Preece storyline for a couple of weeks now, and earlier this morning, the first chapter, if you will, came to an end. We will get to that news in just a moment. First, the holidays are right around the corner. Across the Board has a brand new NASCAR racing game that's perfect for your next Christmas party or play with the family on Thanksgiving. It's simple, it's easy to play, the track looks beautiful, it's made in America, handcrafted in St. Louis. Across the Board's games are built to last for generations. It's a family-owned and operated company, and their game is great for large groups, large families, friends. It's also perfect for tailgating, which I know there are no more NASCAR races this season, but there's still plenty of college and pro football games, and then there's always next NASCAR season. Click the link down below to see all of Across the Board's classic wooden board games, and be sure to use code OOTG for free shipping at checkout. Thank you to Across the Board for sponsoring this episode. I can't wait to break out my copy of the game at Thanksgiving when the family's in town. Stewart Haas Racing finalized their 2023 driver lineup this morning. Of course, Kevin Harvick is returning. He's got 1 year left on his current contract. Eric Almirola, postponed retirement. He'll return to the 10. Chase Briscoe, fresh off a round of 8 playoff appearance. He'll return to the 14. And breaking, as of this morning, Ryan Preece will get the promotion. He will drive the number 41 Cup Series race car. It is confirmed. The team released this statement. Stewart Haas Racing has promoted Ryan Preece from his reserve driver role with the organization to the NASCAR Cup Series, where the 32-year-old racer from Berlin, Connecticut will drive the team's number 41 Ford Mustang beginning in 2023. What happens to the most recent driver of the 41? Cole Custer? Here's what the team said. Custer, who has driven the number 41 Ford Mustang since his rookie year in 2020, when he delivered a victory at Kentucky Speedway and Sparta in just his 20th career Cup Series start, will remain with Stewart Haas Racing. Custer will head back to the Xfinity Series, where he is a 10-time race winner, and be a teammate to Riley Herbst, who returns to SHR for a 3rd straight season and his 4th full-time year in the Xfinity Series. Yes, indeed, yesterday the team confirmed Riley Herbst will drive the 98 once again next season. Cole Custer will now join him in Xfinity. My guess is he'll return to the 00, which he raced himself for several years, won 7 races in the 00 back in 2019. So, Tony Stewart got what he wanted. Let's go back to a report from mid-October. Remember this tweet from Bob Pockrass. Gene Haas on the grid says he wants Cole Custer to return to the 41 next year, but Tony Stewart wants to give Ryan Preece a shot. Well, now we know who won that argument. From what I understand, Ryan Preece has actually been able to put together some outside sponsorship. I imagine we'll still see him in a gray or black or silver Haas car at some point next year, but it sounds like he's got some extra funding, which likely made the decision a little easier for Gene Haas. But it's a tough one. Cole Custer's been with the team for 3 years. His father, Joe Custer, is like the team president at Stewart Haas Racing, so there's a family connection there. You're not going to kick Cole Custer to the curb completely. Instead, they're moving him down to the Xfinity Series. Ryan Preece is going to get the best Cup Series opportunity he's had yet. Stewart Haas Racing released a short video on social media. You can tell Ryan Preece is locked in.
All right, no bullshit.
I'm sorry, no, the rest of the video is okay, but that first line, I should have cut that. A few days ago on this show, I outlined 3 potential scenarios. There was plan A, then there was kind of plan 1A, it was still pretty good, and then there was plan Z, like worst case scenario. Worst case scenario was losing Ryan Preece. So keeping Ryan Preece, promoting him to the Cup Series, demoting Custer to the Xfinity Series, that was sort of my plan 1A. Look, when you compare Cole Custer versus Ryan Preece right here, right now, I don't think there's a comparison. Cole Custer has 0 top 5 finishes the past 2 full-time seasons in the NASCAR Cup Series. He finished 25th and 26th in points the last 2 years. And I know the Stewart Haas Racing cars are not what they once were. In 2020, when Kevin Harvick won like 9 races, Cole Custer was able to win a race. The last couple years, Harvick was winless. This year, he managed to squeak a couple wins across. The SHR cars clearly not as great as they once were, and Cole Custer struggling. So I'm not going to say Cole Custer is necessarily the 26th best driver in the Cup Series, but it's clear at this point he's not doing much to elevate that equipment. And 3 years in, I don't know, time's up. Particularly when you have someone like Ryan Preece, who is listening to offers from other teams, other manufacturers, waiting in the wings. But I want to stay on Cole Custer for a moment. He's only 24 years old. Stewart Haas Racing cannot give up on him. And I don't think that's what this is. Sending him back down to the Xfinity Series, sure, Cole Custer's ego, his confidence, is going to take a small hit, at least in the short term. You just lost your Cup Series ride. I think any driver would struggle with that. But I hope SHR is able to communicate to Cole Custer just how important he is to their future still. Kevin Harvick, the team's best driver, is in the final year of his contract. He's the oldest full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver. Gene Haas doesn't sound confident that he'll be able to re-sign Harvick to an extension. So the greatest driver in Stewart Haas Racing history is likely about to retire. Eric Almirola, a good, solid veteran driver who more importantly brings a lot of bacon money, just postponed his retirement, but still sounds like at most he has 1 or 2 years left. In the very near future, Stewart Haas Racing is going to need their young drivers, all of their young drivers, to step up in a big way. Chase Briscoe did in 2022, winning a race, advancing all the way to the round of 8. Ryan Preece next year, 32 years old. He's kind of older for a young guy, but with his modified experience, he's won Xfinity races, he's won truck races in good equipment. A lot is going to be expected of Ryan Preece next year to elevate that 41 team. But in 2024, or maybe 2025, in the near future, Cole Custer will be asked to do the same. So Cole Custer this year in Xfinity needs to have the support of the team. I think he will. I hope he's able to get past the fact that he lost his Cup Series ride and go chase an Xfinity championship, because right now, Cole Custer in an SHR Xfinity car, I think he might be the championship favorite for Xfinity next season, especially since Allmendinger, Gregson, and Ty Gibbs are gone. They will not race full-time at Xfinity next year. Like, what's Custer's competition? I mean, Josh Berry, Justin Allgaier, I mean, they're good, they're solid. I mean, I guess Chandler Smith going over to Colleague, got to keep an eye on him. If John Hunter Nemechek ends up with JGR, then sure, he'll be a threat as well. But point is, Cole Custer needs to focus on winning races next year and prepare for his second effort in the Cup Series, because Cole Custer will be back in the Cup Series within the next 2 years. Mark my words. And when he gets there, he's going to have even more pressure, even more responsibility on his shoulders than he's had the last 2 or 3 years. The last 2 or 3 years, he was the rookie. He was the young guy. Harvick, Almirola, Boyer for a year, they were shouldering most of the load. They're the veterans. They were expected to do the most. In a couple of years, when they're all gone, Cole Custer will be expected to step up. So I hope this year in Xfinity it does a lot for his confidence. He's going to win races again. That's going to feel good. And hopefully it readies him for his next stint in the NASCAR Cup Series, because it will come sooner rather than later. Now let's talk about Ryan Preece, because in the here and now, I do believe Ryan Preece is the more mature, complete race car driver. Cole Custer's only 24 years old. Ryan Preece is 32. He is exactly the kind of consistent driver that I believe can help stabilize SHR as they transition in and out of the Kevin Harvick era. When the team signed Preece to a development deal a year ago, I said it then, they're hoping he'll be Kevin Harvick's replacement. Ryan Preece's NASCAR journey has been really interesting the last few years. We all know he comes from modified racing, he's a great racer there, but in 2016 he ran full-time Xfinity for the first time ever with JD Motorsports. He did fine, did about what you expect someone to do in those cars. He took a chance on himself in 2017 and made just 4 Xfinity starts, all for Joe Gibbs Racing. He never finished worse than 5th in any of those races. He won in his second start. In 2018, he ran almost half the schedule with JGR, 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s, another win, a very solid season. He then went to Cup for JTG Doherty in that 37 car and just never found consistent results. And in fact, in 2020, during the pandemic year, he finished last in 3 straight races. I'm not trying to hate on JTG Doherty, and I'm sure Ryan Preece made many mistakes those years, but that was never a situation that was going to set Preece up for tremendous success. Last year, Preece won in his first ever Truck Series appearance. This year, he made 10 truck starts, never finished worse than 11th, won another race. The guy is consistent. I like the word mature. We talked about Ty Gibbs yesterday and how there are maturity questions surrounding him. Not with Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece is a fully developed race car driver, if you will. There's going to be some growing pains this year in Cup. He only made a handful of Cup starts this year in the next gen car, and they were all in Rick Ware cars, I'm sure with some support from SHR. So it is going to take some time for him to feel out these cars, but in the here and now, I think Ryan Preece will perform better next year than Cole Custer did this year. That's just my early prediction. I don't know that he wins a race or even makes the playoffs, but I think he'll be closer to 20th in points, probably a few more top 10s, hopefully a top 5 or 2, which again, the 41 car has not scored in over 2 calendar years. The fact that SHR was able to find a place for both Ryan Preece and Cole Custer is huge, because as I talked about last week, SHR and Ford don't have a lot of drivers in their development system that are close to Cup Series ready. So with Harvick and Almirola on the verge of retirement, SHR desperately needs to hold on to any talent they might have. And Ryan Preece, without question, is a talent. So I'm happy for Preece. I think he'll do solid next year in the 41 car. And I'm actually happy for Cole Custer. And that's why I really hope that Cole Custer is able to look on the bright side of this whole deal. He's going to win races in Xfinity next year. He's going to be a championship contender. I think that's going to be a lot more fun. I think in the long run, that's going to do more for his confidence than running 25th every week in Cup. You hate to take him out of the next gen car, which drives so differently than the Xfinity cars, but at some point, I think a race car driver just needs to feel the thrill of victory lane once again. Next year will be huge for Cole Custer because I think he will get that thrill, and hopefully that confidence will boost him up when he gets back into the Cup Series, because I do believe he will be in Cup again one day soon, and there will be high expectations of him when that happens. Anyway, share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Were you surprised at all that Tony Stewart actually kind of got the guy he wanted? Remember, he wanted Kyle Larson. Ford said no. We don't know if he really wanted Kyle Busch, but obviously SHR never made it far in that sweepstakes. But now, Tony Stewart won one, I guess. Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. That is going to do it for this episode. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any upcoming videos. As always, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. I truly appreciate all of your very generous support. Y'all go above and beyond to help keep this show growing. I greatly appreciate it. I'll be back very soon. Lots more to talk about. Got some fun videos planned here in the coming days. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.